What is up, my fellow commanders of Caws? I'm Chris.
I'm Dan.
And this week we're going to be picking our Week 2 predictions. How do we think that's going to pan out?
I'm not sure, but first we got to go through our week one review.
Ooh, let's do that. But first, here's this.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Command and Cause, the Baltimore, Washington area sports football talk show, whatever you want to call it, where we're Ravens and Commanders fans. Well, I'm a Commanders fan, but we are talking this week about the NFL Week 1. We're talking about what happened during Week 1. It's over, and we're going to make our predictions for Week 2. And in between, we're going to give our top 5 teams of the league just based off of Week 1 and how they played. But going right into it, Chris, the Lions and Chiefs game. So much for the Chiefs' perfect season that we predicted.
We cursed them.
Yeah, so they only won by, what was it, a point or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like
20, yeah, it was 20 to 21.
Yeah.
Lions still won, and a lot of people are saying that it's because of Dan Campbell. I believe it. I honestly didn't watch the game, just being honest, but I did see the highlights.
See, I'm bad about falling asleep during games, so I fell asleep during it. It was really good though, everything that I saw from it in the highlights as well. I think his team would run through a brick wall for him.
He's a good leader, from what I can tell. Good first name too. We don't have enough good Dans in the NFL.
So we both got the Lions right, and then we had the Titans and Saints.
We did predict the Saints would win, and they did. However, it was not as much of a blowout as I expected. It was only a 1-point game.
Yeah, the Titans fought pretty hard, in my personal opinion, but they definitely, you can tell that it's still Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry can't get them up and going, they kind of stall out.
So the Buccaneers against the Vikings, that I think was the biggest shock for me, is that the Vikings lost to the Bucs by, it looks like a field goal, like 3 points. Baker Mayfield balled out.
Yeah, it's funny. The Vikings definitely should have won that game. They looked like they outperformed the Buccaneers, in my personal opinion. But yes, the Vikings game was pretty good. All the stuff I saw from it. Jordan Addison got his first career touchdown.
He did make a good catch, yep. My biggest surprise was that the Bucs won. I thought they were going to be really bad this year, but hey.
We both got the Washington and Cardinals game correct, picking Washington. That game looked kind of sloppy in the very beginning.
It was. That was the game I watched all the way through. There were a couple instances where I thought that the offensive line did really well. They were protecting Sam Howell, but then they kind of went back to their old form, and he got sacked like 6 or something times. But again, Terry McLaurin made some clutch plays. Antonio Gibson, he upset me. I wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of him next year because he dropped the ball. I think it was Sam Howell or someone else in the backfield lost the ball, and the Cardinals returned it for a touchdown. So I was a little upset about that, but we still came through, and we got the victory. But our next game, that was a game that we differed on, and one of us came out on top, Chris. I'm not gloating, I'm just saying.
Yeah, all we really saw from that game was the 49ers go and take out the Steelers, man. They look dominant, or the Steelers just look bad.
I was going to say, so much for that Steelers defense, because, man, they 30-7, that was bad. Maybe it was because I was in Pittsburgh on Friday. Maybe me being there, I don't know, maybe they did something. Who knows? But
I'm okay with the loss. I'm okay with taking the L on that one.
All right, but the next game was a real shocker. We're going to stay in division here, go to the AFC North. The Bengals and the Browns. Not only did the Browns win, it was a 24-3 game, and that really shocked me.
Yeah, the Bengals do start off slow in week 1, from what I understand. That's what a lot of people were saying as well that I watched. But you got to be a little concerned that they had no run game.
Well, and the offensive line was just, again, a turnstile.
Yeah.
The next one, I was for a second, I thought they were going to tie, I swear. But it was the Panthers and the Falcons. The Falcons won. And it was 10-24. I think they were tied up they were tied up until the end of the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, the Falcons came with 2 touchdowns. So
one thing about that game, I would say, is Bijan Robinson got his first touchdown as well. He looked pretty good out there.
This next game, though, I know you were watching, and I feel like it's only right that you talk about it.
So, the Ravens disappointed me. I'll be 100% honest. Defense did not, though. That defense looked nasty. I'm very proud of how they played. It really sucks that we lost Marcus Williams. Not sure how long that injury is going to be for.
Dobbins.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad, too. Because it's kind of messed up because him and Rodgers kind of both got their Achilles, is what it was. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah, and when J.K. ran in, he instantly knew something was wrong. He was like, it was kind of like the Rodgers situation where Rodgers sat back down. They just knew automatically. Ronnie Stanley and Linderbaum both got injured as well during that game. A little shaken up. So we'll see how that goes. Ronnie Stanley, I think, is going to be out next week. I have a feeling. But Mark Andrews should be back, so that's one positive. And there's a chance Marlon Humphreys comes back. So just to look to the outlook of the beginning. Also, Houston looked good defensively. You kind of predicted that. You said that Houston would have a pretty good defense coming into it.
I mean, D'Amico Ryan he was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. So my question, did OBJ make any catches? I know you texted me that Zay Flowers did.
Zay Flowers went off, but OBJ did make a couple catches. He played, trying to think of the most PG way to say it, he played very well. Very well.
But moving on to another game, Jaguars and the Colts. We both predicted correctly that the Jaguars would win. However, Anthony Richardson did not look as bad as people were expecting him to be.
Yeah, he looked really good going into it. I didn't watch too much from this game. I know Calvin Ridley went off like I said he was going to. I predicted that, man.
Yeah, you were texting me that. But Chris, long story short, I didn't really get a chance to watch this whole game. I just caught the end of it, and by that point, I was like too depressed to continue. So, how do you feel that the Packers and the Bears game was?
Kind of feel like the Bears played like
fair.
Not good.
Well, apparently Jordan Love, he learned a thing or two behind Aaron Rodgers.
He looked good out there. This was a good game. I did watch this one.
Again, I should have watched more of this, but DJ Moore didn't really do as much. I think Darnell Mooney was like their top receiver for the day, and Justin Fields was running more.
Yeah, I think Jair Alexander had him locked up, so I don't think he was able to do much.
Going to another game, though, that the score kind of surprised me. The Eagles and the Patriots. The Eagles won, but only by 5 points. And the Patriots could have come back and won with that final drive, and I think they just didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. The Eagles were winning big, and then they just kind of started choking, it felt like. But they didn't. They managed to squeak by with the win, though. And, a win's a win.
But, okay, so I know I'm kind of introducing each game here, and I'll let you go with the next one. But I just wanted to talk about this here Rams and Seahawks game. What happened there? The Rams, 30-13 over the Seahawks. I don't know if that's a Geno Smith thing. I don't know if that's Matt Stafford. He reached those kids, or what?
Did you hear about what they had Geno Smith mic'd up, and he goes, "Oh God," or something like that when Aaron Donald was chasing him? I can't remember what
that
he said.
Wouldn't surprise me. Aaron Donald is a scary man to be chasing after you.
Yes, he is. The Seahawks just did not look good. It could have just been maybe because of week 1 rust. And the Rams, man, they had that wide receiver out there. I'm trying not to butcher his name, but it's Puka. I'm not going to attempt the last name, but he did amazing. I'm going to learn his name because that man's name deserves to be known.
Now, this is only week 1, but if LA keeps playing like that, who knows?
In the next game, we had Dolphins-Chargers. This is another game that we differed on, but if I remember correctly, I decided to change mine because I wanted to create a little difference between us. I did think the Dolphins were going to win. They looked good. They looked like what they looked like against the Ravens last year good.
Well, apparently Tyreek was making some good throws. Healthy Tua. We'll see. Hopefully they can sustain it.
So going into that Raiders-Broncos game, they looked pretty good out there, in my personal opinion, defensively. Let's preference that.
I didn't watch this, so I'll trust it to your good sense, but, I mean, they lost by a point, and I've heard that Sean Payton is making a difference, so we'll see.
This looked just like last year to me, and that 16 curse came back that other YouTubers were talking about. I thought that was kind of funny.
Which, by the way, the Raiders are the top in the division because they're the only team to win this week.
That is true. I didn't think about that. That's good for the Raiders.
Good for the Raiders. Good for Jimmy G. I hope his ankle can make it at least to week 10.
Oh, we got your favorite team now.
I'm going to chalk this up to the Giants are just garbage, and the Cowboys' defense is amazing because they blocked a punt for a touchdown. They also stripped the ball from Saquon, or Saquon lost the ball, and they got that for a touchdown. So that's 14 points right there. At that point, at halftime, I was like, all right, I'm done. It's over. It was like 28-0. But it ended with 40-0. And I'm like, all right. I don't think the Cowboys offense, again, is a top 5, even 10 in the league. But
no, I agree with that on the offensive side for the Dallas Cowboys. This game was good, though, in the sense of watching a team just beat up another team. It's always good to watch this.
If that's what you want to watch.
Exactly. It's fun to watch those kind of games every now and then. That defense just looked monstrous. And guys, go ahead and make fun of me in the comments section. When I was doing a family fantasy football draft, I went to go draft my defense. and I accidentally clicked the Steelers instead of the Cowboys, and I was like, oh, that's not bad. That's not too bad. I'll take the Steelers defense because I was trying not to load up on too many Ravens. Oh my goodness. It was. I wish I'd picked Dallas's defense, man.
I don't do fantasy for a reason. I'm kidding. But let's talk about that Bills and Jets game. Okay, so the Jets won in overtime, but the real story everyone is talking about is Aaron Rodgers' ankle, which he's out for the season. Achilles. That ain't no fun. 4 snaps. Yeah. Can the Jets ever get a break? The answer is no. Well, a break, yes, but they can't. You know what I mean.
No. I feel really bad for Aaron Rodgers. I was really excited to see how they were going to beat this season.
He's getting $75 million. He's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, as long as he heals well and that he's perfectly fine, he's able to walk afterwards, that's great. I'm glad that he's going to be able to get healed up. I don't know if he'll ever play again, but,
Well, because they only sent him to he was only had like 1 or 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, and he's turning 40.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, you could see him being a commentator, with his hair slicked back like that. But anyway, but the Bills lost. So let's get into it then. I am sitting at 11-5, and you're at 10-6.
I thought we did pretty good to start it off.
Yep. There were a couple games where I got it wrong, you got it right, and vice versa. But I think it really came down to the 49ers and Steelers because, I think that's where I kind of came out on top there. But, Chris, I am a gracious winner. You can go ahead and do your top 5 teams first because ours, honestly, are not that different. But, go ahead and do yours, and I'll go over mine.
So, looking at my top 5 list, I have the Ravens coming in at number 5. It's a little bit of bias there. I think there's a couple other teams that could vie for that spot. You could put the Chiefs there because they did play well against the Lions, in my personal opinion. Even though they lost, they're still going to end up doing good. There's no time to hit the panic button on them. But we got the Ravens there. I think that they could look hopeful as long as they can overcome these injuries. Week 2, we'll find out how they are. Then I got the Dolphins at number 4. Dolphins looked really good offensively, but the defense kind of concerned me, so that's why they're at number 4. Number 3, I got the Detroit Lions. Haven't talked about them much this episode. We'll probably get into it when we go through our picks later. But, the Lions looked really good on both sides of the ball, and they beat the Super Bowl champs, the defending Super Bowl champs. So,
yeah, and everyone thought they were going to be dominated, so good on them.
Yeah. Number 2. Oh, I don't know if you like this one. The Dallas Cowboys. They looked scary. They are only at number 2 because I don't think their offense was all that great, personally. I thought Pollard looked pretty decent. But 49ers are number 1. They looked scary. So we're going to have to see if maybe my prediction for Super Bowl, maybe I'll get the NFC side right at least.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so for me, my number 5, I had a team there, and then I thought of another team, and so it's kind of a tie here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of breaking the rules here. I have the Ravens and the Rams both at number 5, just because they both showed strengths in different ways. The Rams showed their offense really good, and obviously Aaron Donald. And then the Ravens, their defense was good, and obviously Zay Flowers balled out. So I think they're neck and neck in terms of a little bit. I maybe give a slight edge to the Rams overall, but I think they're about the same. And so, kind of breaking the rules is our show. Number 4, gonna give it to the Dallas Cowboys because their defense is scary, and I'm chalking it up to the Giants were garbage, but I do have to give some respect there. Number 3, I got the Dolphins again, healthy Tua, and everything just clicks. Number 2, got the Lions again. Dan Campbell being a great leader. We need more positive Dans in the NFL. And again, number 1, 49ers. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the Super Bowl this year. Them or the Lions. I think we could see a Lions-49ers NFC Championship. Maybe.
That would be so... I would love that. I would... Because if the Ravens don't make the Super Bowl and it's those teams in the NFC, I'll probably root for the NFC, to be 100% honest.
Yeah, we'll see. But moving on, so, okay, week 2. Let's go ahead and do our predictions. First, on Thursday, we got the Vikings and the Eagles. Gonna go right now, and I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that, and I'm also gonna pick the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Vikings look sloppy, and I think they'll continue to be a little bit rusty in this game. But last year, if I remember correctly, this game was a high-scoring one, so I'll have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I think it could come down to a touchdown. I think it will be a one-score game because the Vikings tend to do that a lot. It's just that last year they were like what 10-0 when it came to one-score games, and now they're 0-1. But then we got the Packers Falcons. What do you think?
So I'm actually going to go with the Packers, I do believe. The reason being, Jordan Love looked really good. I'm hoping that it's just not the Bears were that bad, so the Packers looked that good. Both these teams look pretty decent. I just personally think the Packers are going to walk away with it. I think Jordan Love is going to hopefully have Christian Watson because he wasn't in that game.
I think it'll come down between Jordan Love and Bijan Robinson. I think for the sake of testing the waters here, I'm going to go Falcons because, as you were saying, we don't know if the Bears were just that bad of a team. So I think it'll be a Bijan Robinson versus Jordan Love thing, like I said, but I'm going to go Falcons here.
Okay. Then we got the Colts going into Houston, and I'm going to go with the Houston Texans on this. I thought they looked good against the Ravens.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. I think the Colts, I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans won by a couple touchdowns. Again, I don't think the Colts are terrible, but I'm thinking the Texans will win with this one as well. But moving to the NFC, got the Lions and the Seahawks. And if we're basing this just off of last week's performance, I'm going Lions here.
Yeah, I think this could be an upset game, but I'm also going with the Lions on this as well. They looked so good against the Chiefs. Seahawks could be in for an upset, but they didn't play that well.
Detroit's favored to win, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Then we got the Chargers Titans. I'm going Chargers. Don't really need to go too far into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers on that as well. Their offense looked really good. It looked like they can hang with the best of them. So.
Yeah. Now we got the Raiders Bills though. I want to hear what you think first.
Raiders Bills. I personally think the Bills are gonna come in and just destroy the Raiders. I think they're gonna be really up for just embarrassing them. It's not against the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are a bad squad. I just think the Bills are gonna be so mad that they lost that they're gonna be seeing red.
Okay. And you swayed me. Yeah, I'm going with the Bills as well. No offense to the Raiders, but I'm going to go with the Bills. And then Chiefs Jags. For this one, I'm going to pick the Jags just because I think they're hungry. Hungry for some arrows.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs so that they can finally get their win for the year.
Yeah, it only took them 2 weeks. Oh, man. Man, that's like an eternity in the Chiefs' kingdom. But I think with Travis Kelce being back, if he is going to be back next week, then yeah, that's... You know what? That does make me think, but I'm still going to go Jaguars. Calvin Ridley. We'll see what happens.
Calvin Ridley will probably still go off. That'll be a high-scoring game. But we're going to go into Cincinnati with the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got?
If the Ravens' defense is up to snuff, I think this could be like a... I don't want to jinx it, but it could be a cakewalk if the Bengals played as bad as they did last week.
The Cincinnati offensive line was just like, come on in, take a seat, let's hang out.
Sack our quarterback.
Yeah, sack our quarterback. We don't care. The Ravens offensive line didn't look that great either, but I'm going to be biased here. I honestly think Cincinnati could win this game, and if they do, it's probably not going to be good for me, and I'll probably cry. But the Ravens are going to go in there and kick some Cincinnati butt.
Okay. Cool. We're both going Ravens.
So going into Tampa Bay, how are them Chicago Bears going to fare?
This was a tough one because Baker Mayfield versus Justin Fields. My heart is telling me the Bears, even though my mind's telling me the Bucks. But let's see if the Bears disappoint us again this week.
Hey, you know what? I'll be in the same boat with you because I'm also picking the Chicago Bears to beat the Buccaneers.
Okay.
If the Bucs win that game, people are going to freak out, and they shouldn't, but I know they're going to.
Yeah, that's fair. But I already went ahead and pre-filled this one because I'm pretty sure we're going to agree on this. The 49ers Rams. It could be interesting. But I'm pretty confident in the 49ers here.
Yeah, I want to pick the Rams to be an upset here, but I don't think I can do that with how the 49ers played. I'd rather be wrong about this.
And the 49ers just gave Nick Bosa that big extension, so I think they're set.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a scary team. The Rams will hang in there and make this a good game, though. If they don't, and that offense gets shut down badly by the 49ers, 49ers might be staying on that number one spot for a lot longer.
Let's see. Giants, Cardinals, both teams that I do not think are very good, but considering how bad the Giants were last week, I'm going to go with the Cards to win this one. It's in the cards.
Wow. I was actually thinking the same thing, New York is favored, though. Makes this a tough one. The Cardinals played very well against Washington Commanders, and I think the Commanders are going to be a good team.
I think the Cardinals defense, I think, is better than the Giants defense. I don't know if, because they have like, I don't even know the Cardinals quarterback, and I just watched the game with him. But
Dobbs.
yeah, I'm still going Cardinals here.
That's fair. You know what? I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. I want to pick the Cardinals on this because the Giants did not look great, but I think this will be a bounce back game for the Giants, and I think they'll come back and beat the Cardinals pretty good. So we got the Jets headed into Dallas, and I personally think the Dallas Cowboys are going to walk away with the victory on this. The Jets look really, really decent for what was going on and what is going on with their organization right now with losing Aaron Rodgers, but Cowboys just looked tough.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys too, because if Aaron Rodgers was in the game, that would make me maybe sway a little bit to the Jets. But yeah, I don't think Zach Wilson is going to be doing very good against that Cowboys defense.
Nah, I 100% agree with you. I don't think he's going to do good against that defense. I think he's going to be like Sam Darnold, be seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
Speaking of ghosts, the ghost of Broncos past and the Commanders. Who do we think is going to win that game? Denver's favorite, it says.
I think it'll come down to coaching. I don't know, because Sean Payton was out of the league for a year. Ron Rivera is more of a defensive coach, and if I'm right, Sean McVay is more of an offensive coach. But we also have Eric Bieniemy. I'm gonna stay with the faith, and I'm gonna pick the Commanders.
You know, I'm actually going to agree with you on that. I don't think the Broncos showed me that they were any different from last year, and I think the Commanders are supposed to be a good team this year. I think the Commanders are going to walk away with the victory in this defensive slugfest.
I agree. I do want to put an asterisk on this because usually week 1 the Commanders win. After that, they get into a slump. So I'm hoping that's not the case again this year, because the Broncos could win this. But I'm giving the slight edge to the Commanders. I'm keeping the faith right now. But then let's move to the AFC East. We got the Dolphins, Patriots. Do we really need to?
I want to pick the Patriots to upset, but I'm going to pick the Dolphins.
Yeah. That's a. I'm a betting man. If I actually put money down. But all right. So then we got the Saints and the Panthers. I honestly think the Saints are the better team.
I'm gonna say I think the Panthers are going to walk away with the victory on this one.
Really? Okay. What's your rationale?
I thought they looked decent enough for their week 1 start, and I think the Saints look and are confident enough to overlook the Panthers. So by that I mean I think that they're going to overlook the Panthers and they're going to play down the competition. So I think the Panthers are going to win. I think the Saints are the better squad, but I just think they'll play down the competition.
Okay, interesting. I'm going Saints. You're going Panthers. Now this next one, it's probably going to hurt you. Who I think's going to win? I mean, it's going to hurt either way because they're both our division rivals. But let me hear who do you think going to win the Monday night game?
Well. Haven't given up on them yet. No, I should because they are the rival of the Ravens, but I actually am going to be going with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Browns just because it looks like Deshaun may actually be making somewhat of a return to form. And it hurts me to say it, but I'm going the Browns here. Although, as a Ravens fan, I do hope the Steelers win because then they'll both be 1-1. And if we win, we're 2-0. So, yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
All right. But what do you all think? Those are our picks. That's our review of week 1, our top 5 teams, and our predictions going into week 2.
Yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed our fun picks that we did. There's some really good games this week, so I really hope you guys all enjoy it. And, feel free to drop your picks down in the comments like Dan said. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you like the video, if you want to see more content, and we will catch you guys in the next one.